Hi everyone, welcome back to Innovative Calls, your space for learning about emotional intelligence, personal growth, and how to live a more meaningful and happy life. If this is your first time here, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon so you don't miss any new episode. I am Professor Nikki Eshtiaqi from RMIT University in Melbourne, Australia. This channel is all about helping and supporting each other by sharing our real life experiences, skills, and knowledge. When we learn together, we grow stronger together. One of the key factors in our success is being part of a community and supporting one another. As humans, we thrive when we help each other, share our experiences, and build a sense of connection. This idea is at the heart of what we do here on Innovatical. The reason we have created this space is to help and support each other so we can grow stronger together. By sharing knowledge and experiences, we help build a community where everyone can thrive, whether it is personal growth, academic success, or simply finding ways to live a happier life. In our last episode, we talked about one important part of emotional intelligence, self-actualization. We explain how this helps us live a more realistic and fulfilling life, not only at work, but also in our everyday life. It's about being the best version of ourselves and feeling happy and satisfied with what we do. If you haven't watched that episode yet, I really recommend it. You will find the link in the description below. Today's topic is another big part of emotional intelligence, self-expression. This means the way we share our feelings, thoughts, and beliefs with other people. Self-expression also includes the ability to take initiative. And let me explain what that means by an example in a university setting. For example, imagine you are interested in a research topic like climate change or mental health. Taking initiative in this context means you don't wait for your lecturer or supervisor to tell you what to do. Instead, you start exploring the topic yourself. Maybe you read article, talk to expert, or ask professor if you can work on a small project. You are showing leadership and motivation. And that's a big part of emotional intelligence. It's about doing things because you care and want to learn, not just because someone told you to. Self-expression is about sharing your feeling both with words and without words. It means you show how you feel by speaking, but also through your body language and your tone of voice, your facial expression, or even your actions. But it's more than just saying, I am happy or I am angry. Self-expression also means you are able to share your feeling in a way that the other person can understand. You're not just showing how you feel, you are helping the other person feel it too, so they can connect with you. It's about clear and honest communication. Let me explain with an example. If you are feeling excited about your research project, you might say, I'm really enjoying this topic. It makes me curious and motivated. But your excitement also shows in your face, your smile, your eye light up. Maybe you talk a little faster. That's verbal and non-verbal expression. On the other hand, if you are feeling stressed, but you don't talk about it and you just stay silent, people might not understand how you are feeling. But if you say something like, I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed right now, and your face looks serious, and that helps people understand and maybe even support you. So self-expression is about being open, honest, and clear about how you feel in a way that makes sense to others. Self-expression becomes truly effective when everything we communicate is in alignment, when what we say, how we say it, and how we behave all match. Think about it. If you are feeling something deeply, whether it is excitement, sadness, stress, or joy, You speak honestly, and your tone of voice, facial expression, and body language all match that feeling, people will feel it too. That's when your message really lands and has power. This kind of communication is powerful because it feels real. People don't just hear your word, they experience your emotion, and that creates a stronger connection and build trust. Now you might be wondering, is it really that important how I come across? Well, research shows that yes, it is absolutely is. A well-known study by psychologist Albert Mehrabian found that when it comes to how people understand and remember what we are communicating, only about 7% come from the words we use. The remaining 93% comes from how we say it, with 38% coming from our tone of voice and 55% coming from body language. Things like facial expression, gesture, and posture. I will provide references to this research in description below. So, what people understand from us mostly comes from how we express ourselves, not just the words we choose. When your words, your voice, and your body language are all in sync, your message becomes clearer, stronger, and more believable. But when they do not match, people may start to feel confused or even doubt your sincerity. In short, effective self expression is about more than just saying the right things. It's about being honest with yourself, aware of your emotion, and letting them show naturally through your voice, body, and words. When everything aligns, your communication becomes far more impactful. Have you entered your supervisor's or professor's office to discuss something important, and while they greet you with a polite hello or welcome, you quickly realize that's not really listening to you? Maybe you start talking, but they do not look up from their laptop or stop typing. You find yourself having to repeat your words multiple times before they finally catch what you are saying. It's frustrating, right? Their words say they are happy to see you, but their body language and actions say something completely different. This kind of situation can leave you feeling like your thought and concern are not really that important to them. This is another perfect example of how actions speak louder than words, especially when there is a mismatch between them. The supervisor greeting and the fact they say welcome sound nice, but their lack of eye contact, nonverbal cues, and distraction with their laptop send a completely different message. It is hard to feel heard or valued when their body language doesn't match the words they have said. Now imagine another scenario, like a university professor starting a lecture by saying, "In this class, I really encourage you to speak up and share your thought. I welcome your question and idea." This sounds motivating, right? But if the professor delivered this while looking at the clock and standing with their arm closed or barely making any eye contact with the class, you might start feeling like they're not actually interested in hearing what you have to say. In this case, the mismatch between their words and body language makes the environment feel less welcoming and discourages students from engaging. We all encounter situations when our words and action do not align. For example, you might express frustration by slamming a door instead of talking about your feeling. Or you might say, "I'm happy to be here," but your facial expression shows otherwise. This mixed signal can leave people confused and disconnected from you, whether it is with a supervisor, a colleague, or even a classmate. Sometimes people have difficulty expressing their emotion verbally, particularly in a positive or negative situation. If you are someone who has trouble saying, "I am proud of your work," or "I am upset about the project," others around you might start guessing what you're really feeling, looking for clues in your behavior or action. This can make it difficult to build a strong, honest relationship, especially in a work or academic environment. But here is the tricky part: relying only on nonverbal communication can be misleading. For example, you might think that the showing appreciation through action, like offering a small gift or giving a nod, will get your message across. But without saying thank you or offering verbal recognition, the person might not understand your gratitude or could even feel overlooked. Another issue occurs when we express negative emotion in an unhealthy way. Imagine a research center supervisor getting frustrated with the team's progress, but instead of addressing the issue directly, they just roll their eyes, sigh loudly in frustration. Nonverbal cues like eye rolling, heavy sighs, or sarcastic gesture can have a much stronger impact than words, making it harder for the team to communicate and solve problems effectively. These signals can make people feel hurt or disrespected, causing more distance rather than encouraging collaboration. So far, we talk about how self-expression is most effective when our words, tone, and body language are all in sync. When these different forms of communication do not match, others can feel confused, disconnected, or even hurt. When it is a research supervisor encouraging ideas while avoiding eye contact, or a professor who says they are open to discussion but appears closed off, these mixed messages weaken trust and make real communication harder. But sometimes it's not just about mismatched signals. It's also about which emotion we choose to express or avoid expressing. One emotion we often express more easily than other is anger. But the truth is, anger often hides other feelings underneath, feelings we might find harder to admit or express. Let's take a university or research setting. For example, a student might come out of a meeting with their supervisor feeling angry because their ideas were not acknowledged. But if they pause and reflect, they might realize the anger is actually covering disappointment or even hurt because they had worked hard and hoped to be taken seriously. Or maybe a team leader gets angry during a research group meeting when someone misses a deadline. But deep down, what they really feeling is anxiety about the project's reputation or frustration about not being supported. It's important to understand because if we only express anger, people around us might miss the real message and we might miss an opportunity to solve the real issue. When we take a moment to reflect on what's really going on emotionally, we often find there is something more vulnerable beneath the surface: fear, sadness, embarrassment, or feeling let down. These emotions are just as valid, but they require more honesty and self awareness to express. So, part of developing a strong, healthy self expression, especially in a professional and academic environment, is learning to pause and ask ourselves, what am I really feeling? If we can identify that feeling and communicate it clearly and respectfully, we not only reduce misunderstanding but also strengthen relationship, whether it is between colleagues, a student, and teacher, or team members. As we wrap this episode, remember that true self-expression is not just about saying what's on your mind. It's about being aware of what you are really feeling and expressing those feelings in a way that's clear, respectful, and real. Whether you are working in a research team, teaching a class, or simply having a conversation with a friend, your ability to express emotion authentically can make a huge difference in how others connect with you and how you connect with yourself. Take a moment in your daily life to pause and reflect. Am I really expressing what I feel or just what is easier to say? The more we practice this, the more confident and emotionally intelligent we become. If you found this episode helpful, please do not forget to subscribe to our channel, Innovative Calls, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a new episode. We have got so much more to explore together, and your presence here really matters. Also, if you know someone who could benefit from this conversation, maybe a friend, a classmate, or colleagues, feel free to share this episode with them. Let's grow this community of the support, learning, and real human connection. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode.